What if I told you that Adobe Camera RAW was absolutely nuking your RAW files and destroying the dynamic range, and you might not even know it or even realize it? It's very important that you load your images correctly when you're using Adobe Camera RAW, which, as a lot of you might know, is Photoshop's version of, your basic sliders that you get when you're in something like Lightroom. So a lot of you guys might be editing your image here in Lightroom, or even if you're not, you're going to want to load this in to Adobe Camera RAW and then continue your edit in Photoshop. Now, if I just go in and load this in Photoshop by going Photo, Edit in, and then Edit in Adobe Photoshop, this will load right on over into Photoshop here. Now we've got our image there. So now if we wanted to open up our Camera RAW to access some of those sliders, you open it up. Now we're in Camera RAW. Now as I drag the highlights down, look at how I've almost lost a little bit of range there. And then same thing with the shadows. It's like I don't quite have the same dynamic range that's in the original file, and that's because we actually don't. And that is because we loaded this in just as a regular file, and the Adobe Camera RAW almost looks at that as like a flattened TIFF file that doesn't still have the same qualities of that original RAW file. So instead of opening it that way, what we're gonna do is go in here and we're gonna open this as a smart object into Photoshop. So we've already have some edits applied, but even if you don't, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna go to Edit in, and then you're gonna scroll down and open as a smart object in Photoshop. Now, what you will notice is you have this layer. Now, if you go up and do the same thing, you go Filter, Camera RAW Filter, you're gonna notice that our dynamic range is still bad. It still doesn't look quite as good. You can see how things just, it crushes the dynamic range, almost like we're editing a JPEG. So instead of opening the Camera RAW like that, what you're gonna do is double click on the file here, which automatically opens up Camera RAW with the same adjustments. You should see all of this down here, which includes the color space, the 16-bit, and all that good stuff. And now if I adjust this, you can see our dynamic range is looking a lot better. We can do so much more with this file. Now, let's say that you're not a Lightroom user or a Bridge user or another user or something else, and you just want to edit in Photoshop. So you're gonna go find your RAW file, which for me is right here. And then I'm just gonna click and drag this into Photoshop, or open it however you normally do. Now, when you load an image into Photoshop, your RAW file opens like this in Adobe Camera RAW. You have all of the options down here, so you can start to make adjustments. You can see I have nice control over the dynamic range because I still have all the data in that RAW file. All right, that looks good. Now, the only problem is you go and click Open, and what's gonna happen, now you're back to square one with the original problem. So if I unlock that and I go back into Adobe Camera RAW here, not only do I not have the original edits, but again, my dynamic range is pretty much cooked in the file. So instead of opening it like that, what you're gonna do is click and drag to open this into Photoshop. It's in Camera RAW. Now you're gonna hold down the Shift button and you're going to click Open Object. I'm holding the Shift button down right now. You can see how that switches what I can select down here. You can see Shift click opens as a smart object. So I'll open that here as a smart object. Then I can double click here, get access to that original RAW file there, and get much, much better dynamic range. Now, there's obviously a lot of benefits to using these smart object, such as if you use other filters, they will apply under here and you can edit them non-destructively. But this is obviously the biggest thing, is that you want to access that file and access as much raw data as you can to get the best results. So you want to make sure that you are only opening as a smart object and only opening Camera RAW by double clicking. Now, anytime you're going to be doing any heavy lifting on your photo when it comes to shadows or highlights or just dynamic range in general, you're always going to want to use that Camera RAW adjustment with the original RAW file preserved. Again, look on that bottom bar, make sure that it has some options there. It should tell you what the color space is and the resolution and all that good stuff. That needs to be down there, or else you are basically editing a flattened file, almost like editing a JPEG of your image, which will permanently make your image not quite look as good. So if you've been editing in Photoshop and wondering, why do my files just look so flat compared to the RAW file? A lot of times that could be it. So a smart object is your friend if you are going to edit in Photoshop, regardless of if you're editing somewhere else first or you're just dragging and dropping in Photoshop. And again, many, many other benefits to smart objects that you don't need to worry about, but they are beneficial if you are going to add more filters and you want to edit non-destructively. So just a quick little video with a quick little tip today to help you to not ruin your RAW files. If you're doing this, you are ruining so many of your RAW files. I got to look back through some of my stuff because this has definitely happened before and I haven't even realized it, but I've just come to the realization now. So I hope that helps you guys. If it does, let me know down below in the comments. Always love to hear from you guys. And of course, leave me a like and a subscribe, help me to continue to grow my channel, and I will help you to continue to improve your photography. As always, I'm Austin Jackson. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next time.